Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your weekly science investigation with Mr. S. And since today is Thursday and it's Spirit Week, I thought I should recreate an old photo of me. So here's a photo of me when I was young and youthful and without a beard, and here's me now. As you can see, I don't look quite the same as I did before, but I think it's pretty close. You know, maybe if you cover up the beard, jersey still fits well, obviously no shoulder pads. So, as we get into today and as we start moving science into climate or the study of how weather is in a certain area over a long period of time, I thought we would make something that's from a long period of time. The actual origin may not even be truly known, but it is a thing called a rain stick. And what it was used for is it was used in places all over where they needed rain. There wasn't a lot of rain in those climates, like a desert or places like that. And they would use these rain sticks to help summon the rain to get it to come down. And that's what we're going to build today for our weekly science investigation. Materials. 6 inches of aluminum foil, a cardboard tube, tape, markers or crayons, paper, scissors, dried beans, popcorn, or rice is also a good substitute. Put it all together. Okay, now let's get started. The first thing you need to get out is your cardboard tube. I got mine from an old roll of paper towels, wrapping paper, things like that. Even if you want a shorter one, maybe you can use a toilet towel, things like that. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put it right on top of your piece of paper. I have orange construction paper. You can use any color or any kind. Doesn't matter too much. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna put that circle right on the left side. You're gonna have to make 2 really big circles on this. So you're gonna make sure you leave enough space to trace around your tube and then draw a circle about twice as big around that. So for me, and I'll show you all right here, I'm going to do one right here and one over here. And I'll show you how to make the first one, and then you can pause it afterwards and try your own luck to make the second. Now here we go. Let me see if I can get this camera just right. Perfect. Okay. Tube on the paper. I have my extremely scientific tracing tool. Markers, crayons, anything will work. Things like that. And all you're gonna do is I'm just gonna start here, right at the top. Coming around. It's okay to take your time with this. You don't have to rush through it. And you're gonna come around to the full circle. After you have your full circle, like I have mine right here, what you're going to do is you're going to draw 4 spokes on it, or lines coming off of the circle. So you're gonna do one going straight up, one going straight down, one going to the right, and one going to the left. Should look something just like this. Finally, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna connect the dots on the outside. And there you have the first base. So here's my first one. You're going to have to make another one with this. But once you have that all out, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your scissors, hopefully safety scissors or an adult helping you. I have these adult scissors with me today. You're just going to cut right around it. Like so. Ooh. My tinfoil almost flew away. That wouldn't be good. Cutting around, cutting around. Perfect. Now it doesn't have to be perfect or anything. So here's mine. The last thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go right where those spokes were and you're gonna cut right down the line of those spokes. Now don't go into the wheel or into the middle circle. Just keep it right on the outside of it, right up to the edges. And 2, 3, and 4. All right, now I have my first bottom. You see how all the sides can move on it, but my circle in the middle is still intact. You can pause the video now and make your other bottom, and when you're ready to go, just hit play. Okay, now hopefully you've got both of your tops. I have both of mine right here. Next thing we're gonna do is we're going to attach our tops. So hopefully you have that tape with you right now. Here's what we're gonna do. I'll show you really quick and we'll do it all together. But what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take your lid, put it right on top like that, and you're folding down just 2 of the edges right now. You don't have to do all of them right away. You're gonna take a piece of tape, stick it on there, and tape it right down just like that. Just make sure it's nice and pushed down. Do the same thing on the other side. There's 2. Now you can see, right? It looks almost like a kind of like a weird bird. So like that. What you're gonna need to do now is when you're putting the next 2 down, you're gonna have to fold them inside of it like there first. So let me show you again. But you're gonna fold it in just like that. And then when you push it down, it'll make a nice perfect seal. And that's when you wanna tape it. So I'll come right over here, pull it down. If you wanna pull those other corners in from the other piece too, make it look even cleaner, that's great. Both ways will work. So there's my sealed edge right there. And then same thing on this side, tucking both of the corners into the tube, like so. Scrunch it down a little bit if you gotta. Folding the edges in, so it's a nice flat round bottom. Other piece of tape, right on top. Sealing it all in, just like that. So now I've got solid bottom. Almost sounds a bit like a drum, right? So now we've got the bottom of our tubes. Now we got to fill what's inside the middle. So put that tube somewhere safe where it's not gonna blow away. And you gotta take your tin foil out. I got about 6 inches of mine. It's not perfect, ripped a little bit, but that's okay. We make it work. What you're gonna do is you're gonna, keeping it the same length, you're gonna kind of fold it or just kind of crumple it together. So I'm just gonna kind of roll mine a little bit, things like that. And crumple it. Sorry, my phone battery's dying. Better make this quick. Now we've got our crumpled thing, and the next thing you're gonna do, holding it from other ends like this, you're just gonna slowly twist it a little bit. Just like that. So you can see here, right? It's kind of got the bend to it. If you're kind of looking at it, it's got almost a bit of a swirl to it now. I might fold it a little bit more. All right, now we've got our tube in there. Once you have your thing all ready, you're gonna put your spring, if you will, or your little tube inside, drop it in just like that. And now what we're gonna need is we're gonna need our noise. So for this, I used popcorn kernels, select to be exact. But you can use rice, dried out beans, anything like that. Even some beads could work for this. This is just what I have kicking around my house today. So what I'm gonna do is you're gonna pour some in here. You only wanna fill up about 1/10 of it, or about this much. You don't wanna put too much in there. It might become too heavy, and the bottom might fall out or something like that. So just gonna go right ahead. Do a little shake. I think I need a little bit more. There we go. Now we got it in there. Final step, you probably already guessed it. We gotta put our other lid back on. Luckily we've had a little practice this time, so now we know how we're gonna do it. Same thing like before, just push down the 2 other edges to start. Use your tape. Ooh, don't fall off. The first one's always the trickiest for me. And here comes number 2. If I can get it to stick. Again, same thing like before, right? We've kind of got our little flappy wings out to the side, stuff like that. Number 3, and remember, we gotta tuck those edges in. I might have actually, you can also go over. The other trick, if you wanna go over and fold down the edge like that, that also will do it. Just make sure you tape it down real nice. And side number 4, coming down and around. Oh, don't mind my computer. All right, now you should have both ends sealed just like that. The last thing you do, and how you make it all work, you just gotta go right ahead and flip it over like that. Now if you flip it quick, it might go like that. If you turn it a little bit slower maybe, you can kind of hear how it sounds a little bit like raining. They would flip them over like this, back and forth, as a musical instrument, or as a way to try to get the rain to come. So you can have some fun with this. I'm sure maybe a little thing to get after your siblings or something, who knows. Hope you're all doing well, be safe, and I hope you enjoyed the science experiment. See you next week.